Welcome back to Hospitality Reinvented. I am your host, Doug Radkey, and today we're diving into a crucial topic that directly impacts your revenue and guest satisfaction, and that is perception of value. Now more than ever, building and delivering a memorable guest experience is what will drive your business to an entirely new level. If you can create an experience that resonates with your targeted guests, the revenue is going to follow. This isn't just about pricing or amenities. It's about crafting moments and making your guests feel something special. So let's talk about why this matters and, more importantly, how you can achieve it. When we talk about value in hospitality, it's important to understand that value is not simply what something costs. Value is a function of context. It's the internal calculation that your guests go through to decide if what you're offering is worth the price. And that calculation isn't just numbers. It's influenced by the experience, the ambiance, and how they feel in your space. So let's explain this, maybe look at things a little differently with something I like to refer to as the Coca-Cola effect. Imagine you are buying a can of Coca-Cola. Now, depending on where you purchase it, the price could range very dramatically. In a multi-pack, you might pay just 50 cents a can. But at the supermarket beside the bakery, offering fresh sandwiches or a slice of pizza, it's $1.49. Maybe it's $1.99 at a convenience store, $2.99 at a restaurant, or even $5 in a high-end hotel minibar. But here's the thing. It's the exact same can of Coca-Cola, but we perceive its value differently based on where we buy it. And more often than not, we do not even think about the cost because it's the value proposition in that moment. Now, a can of Coca-Cola for $5 on the grocery store shelf on its own would feel like a total ripoff, right? But a $5 can of Coca-Cola in a hotel minibar feels acceptable, not because Coke in itself is worth $5, but because of the experience tied to that moment. Perhaps it's late. You are unwinding after a long day of travel, and it's right there for you without having to go down go down to the lobby or go back out or order room service. And to spice it up, maybe there is a mini bottle of rum right beside it in your room for an additional upsell and value add. Here's the thing. In hospitality, people aren't just buying a meal or a drink or a bed to sleep in. They are buying an entire experience and a story. The value you offer is wrapped up in how you make them feel in the moment and in the memories that you help create. So the first takeaway of this episode is this. To be successful, we need to stop focusing only on the transactional aspects and start crafting experiences that our guests truly value. Now, let's take that one step further. Here's a deeper idea I want you to take away from today's episode. Build the experience first, and the revenue will follow. This is where so many hospitality businesses get it wrong. They focus solely on ways to increase revenue or cut costs, but they overlook the actual guest experience. But think about it. Guests won't pay a premium for something that feels generic or something that doesn't leave an impression. The experience that you create has to resonate with your guests so strongly that it stays with them. And when you get this right, they don't just remember your bar, your restaurant, or your hotel. They remember how they felt when they were experiencing your brand, whether that's on the property or even back in their home with a takeout offering. They will become brand ambassadors for you. They will tell their coworkers, they will tell their friends, and they will talk about it online. That's where your revenue growth really comes from. Loyalty and word of mouth, all fueled by one thing, a positive experience. So ask yourself, what makes my brand memorable? What story are we telling? You don't have to be a high-end luxury hotel or an iconic rooftop bar to create this perception of value. Every place has a unique story. Okay? Let's dive into some examples of how to create perceived value in different hospitality settings, whether it's a bar, a restaurant, or a hotel. These are all touch points that we have worked on with clients this year alone that have seen some incredible results. For a bar, let's say you are in a historic building, maybe a former speakeasy from the Prohibition era. You can amplify the experience by tying the ambiance and the service style to that history and to that era. Imagine dim lighting, vintage furniture, jazz music playing softly in the background, and bartenders dressed in attire that is reminiscent of the 1920s. And when your guests walk in, They are stepping back in time. You are no longer just serving cocktails. You are providing an immersive experience. And here's the thing, and guests are going to pay more for that cocktail because it is not just a drink. It's an experience rooted into the history of that place and that perceived value. That's the $15 or $20 cocktail now seems worth it because of the unique, memorable experience surrounding it. And in a restaurant, let's say you are on the coast with a view of the ocean, and instead of just serving seafood from a large restaurant distributor, focus on the freshness, the sustainability, and the local sourcing. You don't have to be fine dining to do that. We have a dive bar and a concession style concept that is crushing it right now because they made that change from frozen food to fresh local food that they didn't think they could pull off because they thought their customers wanted the cheapest options out there. Let guests know they're experiencing the best of what the region has to offer. Talk about the local fishermen that you work with. Highlight how you source ingredients and create seasonal dishes or limited time offers that change throughout the year. The perceived value here is that guests are not just having a meal. They are tasting the local culture. And people will pay more for a dining experience that feels authentic and local and unique to that location. And for hotels, let's take this idea another step further. Guests think and they say, my room. They don't just say, I'm going down to my restaurant or I'm going to my spa, but they do say, I'm going up to my room. The guest room is the only area in a hotel that guests can truly claim as their own. So make that room something special. Whether it's the small touches like personalized welcome notes, unique amenities, or high quality linens, make it feel like a sanctuary for them. Remember, as average daily rates continue to climb in the hotel industry, you need to deliver an experience that justifies the cost. Guests want to feel that they are getting a wow factor in their own space. The room is their home base during their stay, so ensure that it is a memorable one. To create these memorable experiences, you need a strong value proposition. But remember, value is always contextual. Your guests will evaluate your offerings based on factors like location and ambiance and quality and service and not just price. Ask yourself again, what makes my concept and brand different? What unique experiences can we deliver? You're not aiming to be everything for everyone. You're building a brand experience that resonates with a specific group of people. Now, consider your location. Is there anything unique about where you are that you can turn into part of your story? Maybe your bar is near a historic landmark, your restaurant has panoramic mountain views, or your hotel is in a high volume urban area with rich cultural scenes. These elements are crucial because they contribute to the perceived value of your establishment. Again, when guests choose a bar, a restaurant, or a hotel, they're not just selecting a place to drink, eat, or sleep. They're choosing an experience influenced by your location, your atmosphere, and how you make them feel, even if you are a QSR, a dive bar, or a roadside motel. Build that story into your brand, and you'll create a value proposition that resonates on a much deeper level. One of the most effective ways to create perceived value is through attention to detail. When you focus on the small touches like personalized greetings, customized recommendations, or remembering a guest's preferences, you are showing them that they matter. This isn't just customer service, it's hospitality at its finest, which we talked about on last week's episode. For example, imagine a hotel guest who's been greeted with a welcome drink featuring local flavors or a handwritten note that was placed on their bed, or a restaurant that remembers a regular guest's favorite wine and has it ready for them on arrival. These moments don't cost a lot, but they create a sense of connection and make the experience feel personal and valuable. So what's the takeaway here? Perception of value is built on the experience that you deliver, not just the services that you provide. If you want to stand out in today's competitive market, especially with the rising costs and more discerning guests, you need to invest in crafting experiences. It's not just about slashing prices or offering discounts. It's about building memories and creating stories and engaging with guests on an emotional level. Remember, build the experience first, the revenue will follow. And when guests feel that they're part of something unique, when they feel seen and valued, they're not only willing to pay more, but they're also more likely to come back and to tell others about it. Thank you for tuning in to Hospitality Reinvented. I hope this episode inspired you to take a closer look at the experiences that you're creating and how they are perceived by your guests. Remember, value is more than price. It's about how you make people feel. And if you're ready to dive deeper and redefine the experiences at your establishment, consider working with a coach or a consultant who can bring new perspectives and guide you through this journey. You can book a 60-minute impact session with me over at krghospitality.com. Until next time, keep focusing on creating experiences that resonate. Thank you for watching and listening, and stay tuned for more insights on how we can help reinvent hospitality together.